Hey y'all, today we are making 4 fun, fantastic, and fabulous Hocus Pocus inspired treats. That's what we're making, and we're making 4 of them, y'all. So I'm so excited. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing you're going to need to do is make a pan of brownies. Now, don't judge me. I'm making a box of brownie mix. I'm using a box of brownie mix, y'all, making my life a little easier. But you can make homemade if you want to. The only thing I will say is make sure that you grease your pan real well, and then make sure that you use a 9x13 pan, because for these recipes we're making, we don't want the brownies to be super thick. We need them to be a little bit thinner for us to be able to do what we need to do. So just bake them according to your box directions, and then let them cool down on your counter, and then we're going to pop them in the refrigerator for about an hour just to make them a little easier to fool with. Now, I want to let y'all know that this video is part of a collaboration with some wonderful channels hosted by Crafting with Indiana Jones, so make sure you check out the description box for a fun playlist full of videos. We got cooking, crafts, games, all kinds of stuff, y'all, so make sure you check that out. Once your brownies come out of the refrigerator, we're going to need to cut them. Now, for this video today, I am making 4 of each of the little things that I need the brownie mix for. I'm making 4 books and 4 black cats. So I'm going to have more than enough brownies, which I'm not mad about. I'll just snack on the rest. So what you're going to need to do is cut the middle part of your brownies. You don't want the edges for what we're doing, because you know the edges are a little chewier, a little bit harder, so it's going to be harder to deal with if you have an edge for these projects, these recipes, which y'all I wasn't real mad about, because the edges are my favorite. I'm an edge gal. Y'all let me know down in the description box, do you like the middle brownie? Do you like the corner piece? I like the corner piece, y'all. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and cut out 4 books, okay? Just 4 little triangles. I keep saying triangle, but that is not a triangle. That's a rectangle, y'all. I don't know my shapes. Don't judge me for that either. Anyway, cut your 4 books out, and then we're going to cut out 4 kitty cats. Now, I just have a little kitty cat cookie cutter. It's a little small one. You can use whatever you have. If you got a whole lot more talent than I do, you can just freehand cut you a little cat head or something out of your brownies if you want to. But I had this little tiny cookie cutter, and I thought this would be perfect to make my little thackeray binks. Okay? So go ahead. Look how cute he is, y'all. Look at the little kitty. He's so precious. Anyway, y'all, I need a nap. Just ignore me. There ain't no telling where this video is going. So anyway, go ahead and cut out however many. Now, like I said, I only used about half the pan for just the amount that I made. But if you're making these for a crowd, you can make a ton of cats out of a can of brownies. Or you can make like 12 of the little books out of 1 pan of brownies. So it'll make a whole lot, depending on how many people you have to feed, and what you're doing with it. So once we get all our little things cut out, and you see my books they're not perfectly square, they're cut sort of in a rectangle so they look like a book. So you're going to need some black cookie icing with a little narrow tip on it, and I got that at Walmart, and some candy eyeballs. That's what we're going to need for our books, okay? So to get started, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit for y'all so y'all can kind of see a little bit better what I'm doing. So if you've ever seen the movie Hocus Pocus, you know they have a spell book that she calls book, and she says, "Oh, book," and her book comes running. So anyway, I'm trying to recreate the book. Now on the book, it's made, don't get grossed out, y'all, but it's made from, flesh. It's not gross. It's a funny movie, so don't think it's a crazy horror movie with a bunch of gross stuff in it, because it's not. It's a cute movie. But that's what the book's made of. So the texture of the brownie is perfect for that. And I'm just drawing on the stitches of the book, how they held the book together. Now, the little squiggly line in the movie is a snake. There's a snake that runs down the book. And there's, all kinds of other things. But it's a little bitty brownie, and I'm kind of limited on what I can do. So I'm not an artist by any means. So I did the best I could with what I had. So I put his eyeball on. And then I'm just going to put some little X's across the straight line and make what looks like some little stitches. Okay? So that is going to be our little spell book. Y'all, isn't that cute? I was kind of impressed with myself because, like I said, I have zero crafty talent, and I thought my books turned out pretty cute. Now, this gel icing, though, y'all, it'll get tacky and won't move after just a minute or so, but then in a couple of hours, it'll set up. It doesn't get hard, but it'll be solid enough that it doesn't, you can even stack the cookies and it doesn't mess them up. So now we're going to make our little kitty cats, and in the movie, the little black cat, if you've seen it, his name is Thackeray Binks. So we are making some little Thackeray Binks brownies. Now, I tried this with cookies, but we'll talk about that in a little bit when that pops back up in a minute. But what I did with him is I could have just left him brown, but he is a black cat. So I thought I'm going to go ahead and use some of this icing because I had plenty left over, and I'm going to make my cat a black cat. So I just outlined it and filled it in and just spread it around with a toothpick. And again, it's going to set up in a minute. Now, I wanted to give him some eyes, so I found this little thing of sprinkles that I had, and I found some little round yellow eyes. And look, his eyes are wonky, don't judge me. But then I put just a little dab of that black icing on there to make, the pupils in his eye. Okay, so now we're going to make our black flame candle. And again, this is a big thing in the movie, the black flame candle. So I thought, how can I do a Hocus Pocus video and not make a black flame candle? You have to, right? I just had to. So what I'm using are just some like peanut butter fudge covered cookies. You just need some sort of a flat little black cookie because we need a base for our candle. Now, and then I found these little rolled cookies, and I just got a little box of those. And so that's what I'm going to make my candle from. But when I set it up there, I thought the proportions did not look good as tall as this cookie was. So I broke them in half. And then when I set it back on there, I thought that looks way more proportionate than, the full, really tall cookie. Plus, I wasn't real sure if the tall one would stand, would hold together as well. So I sat them up there just to sit them up there. But I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of this icing, and I'm going to put it on the bottom of these cookies just to use as kind of a glue to hold my cookie to my cookie. To hold my cookie to my cookie, y'all. Y'all see what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying. Now, originally my thought was I was going to melt some chocolate chips and use that as the glue. But then I thought to myself, I already have this out. It'll work just the same. So I'm going to use this. But if you don't have this icing and you're using something different that wouldn't work for this, you can melt just, a couple of chocolate chips, just enough to put a little dab on there to hold your round cookie to your chocolate cookie. So, of course, now we have a candle, so we need candle wax. Now, if y'all are thinking the same thing that I thought after I did this, is we're making a black flame candle. Why are you using white chocolate chips? Well, there's a good reason for that, because I didn't think about it. Didn't think about it, y'all. But we just ran with it, okay? I ran with it. I did what I had to. So what we're going to use for our flame are sliced almonds. I was trying to think of what I could use that would be shaped sort of like a candle flame, and this was the only thing I could really think of that was something that was edible that would really work. So, of course, it's a black flame candle, so we have to turn these almonds black somehow, right? So what I originally did, which you'll see right here that 2 of them are black, I bought some of the edible ink, like the pens, and I guess because the almonds are kind of waxy, the pens were not, they just weren't working. So I pulled out the trusty black cookie ice in there, and I put a little dab on there on each one of my flames, and then I just used the toothpick again and just spread it out. And I didn't put it all the way to the bottom because we're going to have to sit our flame down in the white chocolate wax. So you don't have to color the whole thing, and that way you kind of have something to hold on to. But do them ahead of time and let them dry a little bit so that you'll be able to pick them up without getting this all over you. So once we get our white chocolate melted, I know it's kind of hard to see with this crazy light I've got, but we're going to go ahead and just put just a little dollop of this white chocolate chip goo on top of each one of our candles. And of course we want it to be a little bit messy because we want it to look like the wax is dripping down our candle. Y'all, I tell you what, people can come up with some really good stuff. Now, I've done this before. My granddaughter's birthday is in October, and we had a Halloween party for her one time. And so I made some candles out of pool noodles, and then I used hot glue for the wax and painted it all black, and it was super cute. So I had kind of done this before, sort of, not with food, but you know what I mean? So I was okay doing this part. So once I got that on there, if there was a part that needed to be moved around or make it drip a little bit more, I just used my trusty little toothpick and just maneuvered it around until I got it where I needed it. So once you get your white chocolate on there, go ahead and set your little flames down on each one of your candles. And that's all there is to this, y'all. If you put your flame on, though, and you can still see the white part of your almond, just kind of put a little of the wax part of your candle, just kind of put it up your almond just a little bit, and that'll take care of that. So don't worry about it. You can always fix it, y'all. You can always fix it. But anywho, now we're going to move on to our dead man's toes. Now, we're going to use some sugar cookie dough for this. And originally I was going to use this sugar cookie dough for my cats also. But when I put my little cats that were so cute in the oven, they spread out and became monster kitties. They were just flat and you couldn't even tell what they were. So I thought, let me kind of press these down a little bit, and that way they won't spread so much, when I put them in the oven. And what is a toe without a toenail, right? So what I did for the toenail is I took half of a pecan and I just shoved it down in there, just kind of pressed it down into the cookie dough, and then made little toes. Now, don't these look cute, y'all? They look like little toes. They're little fat toes with little crusty toenails on them. And then I put them in the oven, and that happened. Y'all, they look like, I don't know what they look like, ogre toes or something. I don't know what. I was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this because I did this at the same time I did the cats. I didn't do one and then the other, and it all kind of happened at the same time. Y'all, I was so upset. Then I was like, well, Lord, let me at least try to break them apart. But then when I was breaking them apart, I realized they were still soft and mushy, so I could kind of manipulate them with my hands. So that's how I saved the dead man's toes. I just kind of maneuvered it around until I got them back into the shape of a toe. And then I took a toothpick and I laid across the top to make like the little toe knuckle. And they do look like fingers still, but for our purposes, they're toes. And here are our little books. You can see that our icing dried. But y'all, don't they look so cute? If you've ever seen the movie, let me know if you think this looks like book. Let me know. Be honest. You won't hurt my feelings. And here are our little Thackeray Binks, kitty cats, our little brownies. And then last but certainly not least, we have our black flame candles. Y'all, this video was so fun to make. I had so much fun. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I was like, this Halloween, I have a YouTube channel now, and I'm going to make all my fun snacks and put it on my YouTube channel. I was so excited to get the opportunity to participate in this collaboration and do my Hocus Pocus stuff. So y'all make sure that you check out the description box for all those fun videos, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.